Hey everybody, it's Christina. Today I'm going to be making a card using the Chalk Talk Framelits dies, and I'm going to be using this die right here. And we'll go ahead and get started by using our Big Shot. I'm going to use my platform plate with all the tabs down, an acrylic plate, my cardstock, which I'm using Whisper White, and then my die, and then my other acrylic plate, and I'll just run this through my Big Shot. Alright, I have my die cut piece cut out. I'm going to use Strawberry Slush and Coastal Cabana for my stamping using the Cycle Celebration stamp set. And I'm going to use the candle right here along with the Happy Birthday to You sentiment. And we're going to get ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and put my stamp onto my block. I'm just using the Stampin' Up! Block D, and I just did it at an angle. So we're going to start off with Strawberry Slush. And I'll go ahead and stamp the center, stamp the candle right along the side here. Next I'll use Coastal Cabana, and we'll stamp that right a little bit lower than the first one I did, just like that. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is I'm going to take my sentiment that says Happy Birthday to You, and because it's one big long one, I could either cut my stamp, which I don't want to do, or I can ink part of it and then stamp the Happy Birthday and then to you, which I'm going to do underneath. So I decided I'm going to use one of my Stampin' Up! Markers. I'm going to use the brush tip end to do the Happy Birthday. So we're just going to go ahead and put our ink on there. And then I'm going to use my Stamp-A-Majig, and we'll go ahead and line this up. So I have my Happy Birthday, which I will then line up onto my tag. And then we'll put our Stamp-A-Majig there. So sometimes I like to put my Stamp-A-Majig in place, and then I can go ahead and take my image that I'm working with and kind of slide it around onto where I want it to be. So in order to get this just right, I'm going to turn this to the side, place my Stamp-A-Majig, and then we'll do Happy Birthday just like that. I'll take my Stampin' Up! Marker and re-ink my stamp. Slide my acrylic piece out of the way there and stamp my Happy Birthday. So I have the Happy Birthday. It looks just like that. And now we're going to go ahead and do the to you part. So again, I'll ink it up with the marker. We'll get our image in here. Stamp it onto our acrylic sheet for our Stamp-A-Majig. And then once again, I'm going to go ahead and line this up onto here. So we'll do Happy Birthday to You. One more time, ink up our rubber stamp using the Stampin' Up! Marker. And this is, if I forgot to tell you, this is the baked brown sugar. Really like this color. We'll move our sheet out of the way and then do our to you sentiment right there. Is using the baked brown sugar ink. I'm going to take a little sponge, and I'm just going to sponge some ink right around the edge of my tag. So I have a standard A2 size cardstock base for my card, and I used Whisper White cardstock for this. Then I took some pattern paper from the Birthday Basics Designer Series paper and layered that onto a piece of the baked brown sugar cardstock, which the cardstock measures 4 by 5 1/4, and then my pattern paper measures 3 3/4 by 5. Then I did some sewing right around the edge there, and that'll get adhered right to the front of my card base. Before I do that, I have some ribbon here. It's the natural ribbon from Stampin' Up! And I am just going to go ahead and tie a little knot for my bow onto my ribbon piece here. So I'm just cutting the tails of my bow here at an angle, and then I'll just move this around to where I want it to be onto my front panel here. I also took my tag that I did and did some sewing right around there. At first I started over here and didn't go all the way around because I thought this part would be hidden, but it turns out it's not going to be, so it will be hidden a little bit by my ribbon. So I'm just taking this, this is perfect for doing little gift bags and stuff like that, but we're going to use it on the front of our card base as something different. So I'm just going to actually stick that right onto there, and then I'll use some dimensional adhesives. Let me just grab my dimensionals here, and we will go ahead and stick that onto the back of our tag before we stick it down. So I'm just going to put two dimensionals on the back, and then we'll go ahead and stick that right into place. I'm also going to go ahead and stick a glue dot in the back of my tag here so that it stays down. So we'll put one on the back of the tag itself, and then I'll put one in the back of the ribbon so that it'll lay a little bit flatter. Just like that. And then my bow actually hides that part on the top where I didn't sew. And then the next thing I'm going to do is adhere this to my card base. We'll just center that right in the front. Just like that. So that's our card for today. Thanks for watching. I'll have a list of all the supplies below in the description of this video or over on my blog. See you next time.